All right. Well, now comes to my favourite part of the evening. It's where I get to kick back and relax. Well, actually, I don't get to relax too much because I've generally got a pen in hand and learning a whole lot of information. But tonight's topic is 7 steps to 7 figures. So whether you're new in business or you've been in business for a while, one of the things I do notice with a lot of the businesses that I do work with is that many have this feast and famine cash flow cycle, which is where you're either flush with cash, whether that means you're $1 positive or $10,000 positive, or you're negative in cash. You got more expenses at the end of the month than you do have the cash, and sometimes it's just really sort of chasing that cycle around to run your business. And for a lot of people, they are good business people in the sense that they've got a lot of passion and drive for the business. What is missing sometimes is just some of these 7 the steps and systems that really make it a whole lot easier. So that's why I've got Matt along here tonight. So I got Matt Alderton. He is a serial entrepreneur. And you thought I was going to say killer, didn't you? But no, he's a serial entrepreneur. He's a business expert. He's got over, can you believe this, over 40 industry awards. So he's won a lot of awards in business, including Business Person of the Year and winner of the Australian Business Champion Awards for 2 years running. So over the past decade, I know he doesn't look that old, but yes, over the past 10 years, Matt has founded and he's grown a dozen 6- and 7-figure businesses, and he's generated, get this here, a staggering $100 million in revenue. And he now runs the fastest growing business networking organization in Australia, New Zealand, and the US. And I'd have to say globally, because I know there are groups springing up in places as far away as Latvia, and I think Estonia was one as well too. And this is a business that's really sort of grown and thrived during COVID as well too. So it's my absolute pleasure to introduce to you and bring to you tonight Matt Alderton from a hotel room in the Gold Coast. He's at the Gold Coast sort of doing the rounds at the moment. And he's going to talk to you about 7 steps to 7 figures. So let's give Matt a big rousing round of virtual applause to bring him onto the stage.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Nick. Great to be here today as well. And great to be on the Gold Coast. I've got all my tech kind of worked out this evening, but I wanted to give you the view, the beautiful, like that it just doesn't do it justice. The sunset that's out here tonight, from 18 floors up, looking out. It's actually not the ocean view, it's the river view, but it is phenomenal this evening. So very excited to be here. And I'm looking forward to spending a few days with the Gold Coast crew as well. There's a few of you on the call here today as well, which is fantastic. So hi, all the Gold Coasters. I'll see you. I'm at 3 events this week up on the Gold Coast, plus a leadership team drinks on Wednesday night as well. So make sure you hang around that Gold Coast dinner on Wednesday night and catch up for some drinks, for some G&Ts with us, or whatever you takes your fit. Anyway, so good to be on here. Very exciting. I love sharing this kind of stuff. Thank you for the very warm intro as well, Nick, and all that. That's fantastic. Me and myself. Excellent. Well, let me get into it, because this is a passion project for me, sharing this content, because one thing I will pick up on that intro is that I've actually been in business now for 18 years. So I started my first business 18 years ago, which I know I can see the confused look on your face, because it must be the soft filter on Zoom or something, because you're thinking, what is he, 21, maybe 22, right? Yes. Well, let's run with that for now. Well, and thanks Zoom later. I'll pay them later. But I have been in business for 18 years. Well, you do learn a few things along the way from being in business, right? So you can learn a couple of different ways. You can learn through experience, whether it's good or bad. And I'll tell you what, the best kind of experience you can learn from actually bad experience, from going through challenges and adversity, is a great way to learn. And I've lost almost $1 million through some adversity and challenges that I've faced in my business, and some bad decisions, bad partnership decisions. It was one of those as well. But you learn from the success you have as well, and you do more of the stuff that works and less of the stuff that don't. But what I know, one of the greatest ways to learn is by standing on the shoulders of giants. And what I mean by that is we learn from others. When others have gone before us and they've made and taken the risks, and they've learned things along the way, and then they've shared them with us, that's where we want to really tap into, because those people are going to help us avoid the pitfalls that they've gone through. They're going to share the success tips that they've achieved in their business. And we can implement that in our business. And they're like the shortcuts for business and life. And we want to take those. So I'm an avid learner. I consume Audible like there's no tomorrow. I love reading. But I read more for enjoyment, for like fiction. I actually listen to Audible as a great resource for me because I take stuff in so well. I'm a very auditory person, so it really suits me. Podcasts and all that sort of stuff. I love consuming information. So really standing on the shoulders of giants is a fantastic way to learn. So what I'm going to share here tonight about the 7 steps to 7 figures, really, it's a combination of the failures that I've made, the adversity that I've had in business. It's through the success that I've had in business. And it's also through just sharing from other people, from learning from other people that have been successful. And you know, I couldn't count the amount of conferences and events that I've been to over the years because I just love consuming content. I love learning from others. And I think that learning and growing should be something, a skill that all of us really tap into and never give up on. Because I think that, you know, I reflect on my mother-in-law who is, I think she's 75 now or 75 next year. I can't remember. I think she's going on 75. She'd be killing me if she's listening to this if she's not 75 yet. But let's say she's going on 75 just for in case she is listening. And she's always on the go. So she's always learning and she's always doing stuff. And it keeps her young. She's got the mentality of someone 20 or 30 years younger than her. And I know that, you know, you see people that are learning and growing, that the difference of their view on life and their take on life. And I think that's a really important thing for all of us to really tap into. So tonight, whether you've been in business for 36 years or 18 years or none at all, or this is your first business, whatever it is, I always say, just think, what is the one thing that you can take out of today? If it's just one thing you learn, like you might take a lot, but if you just aim for one, you'll walk away all the richer. Okay. And I guarantee there's something I've done or not that you're going to learn from tonight that I can share with you. So I do have 7 steps to 7 figures, but I want to just get to know you all a little bit more. So if you can pop into the chat box for me. One by one. So as I ask the question, anybody that's been in business for more than, actually just use the raise hand thing. That'll work well. Down in reactions, you can hit that and you can use the thumbs up or a raise hand or something like that. Tell me who's been in business for more than 12 months. Just do the raise hand or a reaction for me on the bar there, or you can just hold your hand up. That's a good plan as well. Excellent. Awesome. So more than 12 months, most of us here, fantastic. Congratulations to all of you, because if you've been in business for more than 12 months, that's a pass mark, because 50% of businesses make it to 12 months and beyond. That's a good result. Okay. So put your hand up now if you've been in business for more than 5 years. Raise your hand, do the reaction or wave your hands or anything like that. Excellent. Lots of us here. You know what, Nick? Good crowd you've attracted here. So obviously, hanging around with the right people. I always say it's like osmosis, right? The average of the 7 people you spend the most amount of time with. You spend time with a great bunch of people, you'll become a great person in that as well. So make sure that you hang around with great people. Congratulations, though. If you put your hand up, then you're in the top 20% of business owners in Australia. Right. Pat on the back, right? That's a great result. Yeah. It also means that, you know, if you're not yet at 5 years, your chance of success is 20%. It means your chance of failure is 80%. Okay. Who's been in business now for more than 10 years? Do the wave hand, hands up. Anybody? Any takers? Paul Schaaf. Nick has. Jane has. I saw somebody else there. Margarita. Excellent. Fantastic. So I noticed the numbers Jeff has as well. I've noticed the numbers started to dwindle a little bit there, but overrepresented in this room, which is fantastic, goes to show the kind of company we're hanging around with. But does anybody know what percentage of businesses make it to 10 years and beyond? Put it in the chat box if you know, you think you have a number. What percentage do you think? Pop it in the chat box.
Matt, I don't know the percentage, but you've got a cracking sunset behind you right now.
I know. It's come good, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It looks amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the colors even deeper in the background there as well. So it's brilliant. Yeah. Very
Looks
distracting.
like it's reflecting
So we've got
off you too,
20%,
Red.
1%. Pardon me.
that it looks like the sunset's reflecting off red too.
It's out. Yes, that's right. Beautiful. Okay, we got 5%, 1%, 20%, 20%. Well, guess what? The chance of success, the chance of you getting to 10 years and beyond is 4%. Which means by 10 years, 96% of businesses will fail. It's crazy, right? Just sit in that for a moment. 96% of businesses will fail by the time they get to 10 years. And I believe the 7 steps are the foundations to create success. It will take you to 12 months to 5 years and across to 10 years and across that mark there. Because there's a number of principles that people kind of get wrong. But let's face it, who went into business because they loved what they do? They had a passion for what they do, yeah? All of us, right? Of course. Nick was talking about this afternoon, you know, the different types of people and the people that go into business and why they go into business. Many of us go into business because we love what we do, what we're giving to our customers. We love that, right? Yeah. And many of us, you know, that's all we've got going for it to start off with. We've got to get some skills around us. But there's a great, I think it's Steve Covey or Jim Collins, one of those two. They're both great. And one of them said that you've actually got to do a couple of things. First up, you have to, you know, you've got to love what you do. You've got to have passion for what you do. You've also got to make sure it can make money. Yeah, it's got to actually be able to turn around some income for you. So it's no good if you love it and it doesn't make money. It's more like a hobby then. But also, you've got to be the best at it. You've got to be really frigging good at what you're doing, because if you're not good, you can't compete with anybody out there that's doing it as well. So that's the 3 magic elements of running a business. You know, it's all well and good to love what you do, but make sure it's going to make you money and make sure you're really good at it. Because there's no point being a photographer. You might love photography, but if you suck at it, it's not going to make a business. It's not going to make you money. So you've got to get that magic trio, that formula of those 3. Now, what I'm going to give you now is the 7 steps to 7 figures. Because I tell you what, another interesting stat. So I've already told you that 4% of businesses are successful. Well, let me tell you also that in Australia, the average wage, the average take home, the average income for a business owner, so not what the business makes, but what they actually take home, the average wage is less than the minimum wage. Yeah, sit in that for a second. So hang on a sec. I've got a 4% chance of success, and on average, we're taking home less than the minimum wage. This doesn't sound like a very good deal, but you know, at least you're not working as many hours as you were in your corporate job, and you know, you're having your weekends and your nights off, and you got less stress, right? Oh crap. So we're working harder, we're more stressed, working longer hours, we're earning less money, and we've got a 4% chance of success. Yes, I'm building this all up for a reason. I want you to go, hey, there's got to be a way of being successful. And there is. And these are the 7 steps. This is what I've learned through running different businesses. So Nick talked about a few different things. I tell you what, I've got a business for everybody because I've worked in retail and hospitality. I had 9 different retail and hospitality shops, Subway restaurants, cafes, and video stores. And I ran those for over a decade. And I had one of my Subway stores was in the top 10 Subway stores in Australia. I had, you know, one of the highest volume coffee shop in the St. George area of Sydney. So I know how to build a business and how to grow a business and have successful businesses. And I know about all those elements with retail shops. But I've also had some professional services firms. So I had a business called IWS Integrated Workforce Solutions. I started that back when I first started my shops to help me have more transparency over the rostering and payroll processes of the business. And what I wanted to do is find someone online that did it already, and I couldn't find a solution online, so I literally had to build it myself. So I got some devs in to create a rostering and payroll solution that integrated with existing payroll to create that. Now, they're all out there right now. Like you can go out there and you can Google and you can find these services out there. Back when I started this in 2004, 2005, there were none. You could not get this service online. So it was a great market because I could be the best at it because there was no one else doing it. I tell you what, we learned to be good at it as well. So when I started building this and I brought people on and grew it, it took a whole life of its own. In fact, Upon reflection, it's probably my greatest success out of all my businesses to date. BX Networking is certainly making its mark as well. Everybody just putting that out there. But IWS, we sold for a cracking 8 figures back in May 2021. So that was a pretty exciting day for all of us. I brought on some partners over the period of time and did some equity raising and all sorts of stuff. So we're very excited to be able to sell that last year to a public company, which was fantastic. I'm not saying that to gloat. I'm just trying to say, if I can drop a few things in here that you go, okay, maybe he knows something, and maybe just maybe there might be something I can take away from this as well, then that's all fantastic as well. And that's my aim. My aim in business right now, my vision for BX is just to help business owners grow and scale their businesses and achieve the business to live the life of their dreams. That's really my vision for BX. And so everything I do when I come along to podcasts and I come along to webinars and I share my story, my journey, that is so I can help people. And the best way to do that is through like BX is a great platform because we've got thousands and thousands of members, but also, when we go out live through Nick's audience and that as well. So hopefully we can change and help some people today as well. It'd be fantastic. Okay. My first P, it's 7 Ps, by the way. I like my alliteration. So my first P is for the 7 steps to 7 figures is profit. P-O-R-I-F-I-T. So profit, ladies and gentlemen, is the first thing we should think of when we're running our business. Now, most people think, profit, that's very mercenary. Why are we thinking about profit first? My philosophy around my business, I'm very philanthropic. I want to build orphanages in another country, or I want to, help mental health in Australia, or whatever it is you want to do. I'll tell you what, it's really hard to do all that stuff without any money in the bank, without any profit. So profit is the first thing that we need to think about in our business. If we want to do all the amazing things that we've got and plans we've got in our life and be philanthropic and give back to society in some way, shape or form, which I think everyone who has that ability should do, then actually we need to make some money in the process. And that's the gift we've got. We're in business. We've got the gift of being able to have a vehicle that can generate limitless amounts of money so we can do amazing things with it, enjoy our life, but certainly do amazing things with it. So we've got to have some profit. So there's a little accounting equation. I don't know if there's any accountants on the call here tonight, probably some listening in. So sometimes they cringe when I talk about the accounting principle, the accounting equation of the profit and loss statement. So I'm sure you all know that if you look at your profit and loss statement, it goes income minus expenses equals profit, correct? Yeah, we've seen that. Okay, it's rubbish. That's what the 96% of people think. If you want to be one of the 4% and be successful beyond 10 years, you've got to change your thinking. And this is the big lesson about everything we do in life. If we follow the 96%, if we follow the herd, and we have herd mentality, chances are we're not going to be successful in business. Success comes from following people that are thinking differently, not that are thinking all the same. Yeah. Unless you're in a room full of people that all think differently, and this is probably what's happening a bit with people on the call here tonight as well. So let me reshape that accounting principle for you. Income minus profit equals expenses. You want to take your profit first. There's a reason I have it first in my 7 steps, but you also want to take it first out of your business. Now, what is profit? Let's just talk about profit really quickly here as well. Profit is the reward that you pay yourself for the risk of going into business. 96% chance of failure. You're going to work harder, longer, for less money a lot of the time, or for the start, certainly. So how do you reward yourself for that? Not through the hours that you do and paying yourself a wage. That should happen anyway. Profit is paid as a reward for the risk and the extra effort. It's a reward for you. And that's what profit is. So if you decide, well, right now you might be not making any profit, or you might be making 20% profit, 30% profit, whatever it is, make a decision that over the next 3 months, you're going to take 1% more than the average of the profit from the last 12 months. Take 1% more, and every 15 days, take that percentage. Now, if you're making no profit right now, just make it 1% profit, 1%. So the starting point is just 1% or 1% more, and every 15 days, take that 1% out of your income. So you look at your income over the past 15 days. What I have in total turnover the last 15 days, take that out of your business, chuck it in a different bank account. Don't look at it or touch it for 90 days. Yeah. And then you're going to do that every 15 days. On the 10th and 25th, my suggestion for doing that. And you're going to bank that profit every 15 days. And at the end of 90 days, you're going to look at that bank account. And whether it's $100 or 100,000 or 100 million, whatever it is, you've just generated the reward for being in business for yourself. And trust me, it's so easy to do. Everyone thinks, oh, it's really hard because I'm not making any money at the moment. So if I'm losing 10%, maybe I should just focus on losing 9 next quarter. Like, no, because if you take it first, you actually work out how to live on the smaller budget. Yeah. What happens is right now, most businesses do bank balance accounting. And so what happens is they get all this money flowing into their bank account. And out of that money that flows into the bank account, they then take and spend all that money for whatever's at the top of the list in terms of priorities. What we need to do is we need to take out our profit first so that we've got an idea of what's left to spend. Now, in addition to profit that you take out, there's some other things you should take out as well. You know, if you know what your average GST bill is, you take that out and put that in another account as well. You know, if you've got other expenses like wages that happen, you're taking that portion out as well. So you've got these other bank accounts. Now, let me put it down to how my grandmother used to run her household. I love this. My grandmother had little matchboxes, empty ones. And when Pop would bring home the paycheck once a week, it was cash, because we'll go back 80, 70, whatever it was, quite a while ago. She's not alive anymore, unfortunately. But she used to matchboxes. Pop used to bring home his cash. Pop would give Nan the money, and Nan would put that into the different envelopes. She'd have one for groceries. She'd have one for the mortgage. She'd have one for the electricity. She'd have different matchbox for each of the different major expenses. Yeah. And then she would take the money out for groceries and she'd go grocery shopping and she'd only spend what she had. This is how bank balance accounting should work. But most of us just spend till there's nothing left. And then we get our next sort of money in, then we spend till there's nothing left. And that's the change that we need to have in business. We need to stop spending everything we have. We need to start taking those key items out first. And it takes some discipline, but everything in business is about discipline. It's about the daily disciplines that create the long-term results. Yeah. Best way to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. Every single principle in every area of business is about breaking it down into bite-sized pieces and then creating discipline around it. So taking your profit first, that's the reward for being in business. If you put $100 in that bank account over the next 90 days, fantastic. That's a trip to the movies for you and your partner, or you and a friend. Go out, have a drink, enjoy yourselves, spend your $100. That's how you reward yourself. Yeah, don't reinvest it back into the business. It's the reward for, keeps you getting out of bed in the morning. It helps you push through the hard times. If you can do that for 4 quarters at that rate, push it up a notch, take it up another % and keep going up and up and up and up. And that's what you should be doing with your profit first. That's your first P, profit. It's the most important, because if you put profit in your bank and you're growing your business and you're treating your business really, really well like that, and you're treating yourself really, really well, you'll continue to grow your business. Now, I would love to take that as my own, that whole profit first philosophy. However, I can't. There's a gentleman by the name of Michael McCallowitz, and he wrote a book called Profit First. It is a fantastic book. Now, if you're searching for Michael online, if you want to find out more about this, just type Mike Motorbike, and it brings up his name as well. So I think he's worked out that no one can spell his name, but everyone can write Mike and Motorbike. And if you put them together and put it on Google, it brings up his name. You can find him there as well. I recommend, I listen to that book probably on Audible, maybe at least once a year, if not 2, maybe sometimes 3 times, probably at least twice a year, if not into the 3rd time every year. It is worth re-listening to. It is worth listening to if you haven't listened to it. And guess what? Little secret I'll share with you guys here tonight as well. Mike's actually going to be speaking for us at a BX event. So I'm traveling to Canada in January. Going to go to a place called Edmonton in Canada. It's going to be minus 30 degrees, I'm being told. Fantastic, eh? Minus 30. It's pretty fresh. Not like up on the Gold Coast. And Mike is actually going to be speaking at our event up there. And we're going to be live streaming it out to all of our members of BX as well. So that's pretty cool. So looking forward to being able to do that in January. So if you're part of BX, make sure you jump into that. Keep an eye out for all of the information relating to that. Okay, number 2, planning. If you fail to plan, you're actually planning to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I read this in my year 11 textbook at school, and it stuck with me. And it's so true. Most people actually spend very little time planning in their business, doing any kind of goal setting. And I'm a bit of a crazy man when it comes to goal setting, because we have, like, everyone in our business sets goals. All of our team in the network, every member gets a goal setting pad when they join BX. Every team member on a Monday morning, we bring all of our team leaders together and regional leaders together. We do a goal setting session together, because if we can help people set consistent goals for their business and life, then they'll start achieving some consistency around those goals. But like I said, there's only one way to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. So let me take you through the philosophy around goal setting that we use in our business, and then I often teach all over the place as well. Because goal setting, let me tell you, there's a certain percentage of business owners that set goals. Does anyone know what percentage of business owners actually set clearly written, articulated goals? What percentage do you reckon it is? 4%. I love when things line up like that, but there's a reason why probably 4% of businesses are successful by the 10-year mark. And there's a reason why, and that must be planning. I guarantee you there's a big factor in it is planning. If only 4% of business owners are actually planning and taking time to plan in their business and set goals, then that's the reason why many of them are failing by the time they get to 10 years. And in fact, I'd say most of them are failing by 12 months and the 5 years. Because if you're not planning, you're actually planning to fail, right? That's how the adage goes. And that is exactly what's happening in these scenarios here. So let me tell you how to plan. It's a discipline. And I know, and I've had conversations with people after I do my planning sessions, and they go, yeah, it's too much. It's too much time. So I'm like, no, the amount of time you waste mucking around, excuse the French, but fart-assing around, not being disciplined and focused on the important stuff, that's a waste of time. Focusing on the right stuff in no way, shape, or form is a waste of time. So let me tell you how the best planning and goal-setting people in the world plan their time. And every year, those people get out of their office, they close their laptop, they turn off their phone, and they go away to a space that is completely separate to work. And they get their creative cap on. I suggest butcher paper and, get creative. Get colored pens are nice too. And write down, write down all the things that you want to achieve in your business and life over the next 5 years. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Yeah, you've got to be able to visualize it. The trick to being successful, actually, the trick to achieving your goals, you've got to be able to see it, you've got to be got to say it, you've got to be able to feel it, and you've got to act it out, you've got to do it. That's the trick. That's the strategy for achieving goals. Now, when you write it all down on your butcher paper, these are all the things you want to achieve in life, yeah? I always think it's good to do this every year, revisit this every year. I then create what's called a vision board around all these amazing ideas that I've got, and every year I update and I put my vision board up, and I've got, if it's a car that I want, or the house that I want, or the boat that I want, all those things. But then I put all the things I want to do and achieve, and I put things about my family and the experiences I want to have with my family. So all those things, yeah? And like, I like toys, they motivate me. So don't judge me in that moment there. But toys to me are about experience, right? So I don't want a boat so I can go out on the boat on my own. I want a boat because I want to take friends out, family out. I want to fish with my kids. I want to do cool stuff like that. So those things are about experience. So don't just have the picture of your boat that you want on the wall. Have your family centered around it. What do you want to be doing with them? Have pictures and stuff that bring all that together, because goals need to be visual. So that's your 5-year goal. You can do that once a year, but on the same day for your business, you also need to think about, what are the 6 things I need to achieve in my business this year? You're going to have 6 key goals in your business for a year. You might have a few more, a few less, but I think 6 is a great number to start with. If you have 6 key goals, you need to articulate them as well. Now, you need to write down your goals. When I say write, I'm like, physically write them down as well. You don't have goals on your computer because that's where they'll be on a computer and a file. You never look at them. You want to handwrite them. 2 reasons. 1, you want them up. 2, when you physically write something, there's a neurological process that happens between the pen, the fingers, the hand, and the head. And that what that does is that embodies the whole goal, that what you're writing, you take it in. Yeah, my daughter is studying right now for year 12. She is she writes all the notes out. And I'm so proud because we had a conversation around this. We talk about writing and you know, she gets that by writing out all of her notes at school, it's going in here. She knows if she types it out, it doesn't embed in the same way. Many kids these days are so used to typing things out, they're having learning challenges retaining information because typing doesn't sink it in here. Handwriting does. So big key for anyone writing goals there as well. So set 6 goals. Set them using a framework. Here's a suggested framework. It's called OKRs, objectives and key results. It's nice and simple. There's lots of frameworks for setting goals. I think this one's nice and easy. OKRs, what's your objective? What's the objective that I'm trying to achieve? And what's the key result? How am I going to measure that and know if I'm successful or not? How am I going to know when I get... So I'll give you an example. If you know your goal is to have 10,000 clients by the end of the year, that's great. So it's very clear. The objective is clear. I'm going to have 10,000 goals by the end of the year. What's the key result? 10,000. Or it could be sales based, could be anything. Whatever it is, you've got to know in that statement how you're going to measure your success or not, or how you've got there, and if you've got there. That's really important. And you set those 6 things down. And what you can do is you can have the objective and key result, a couple of sentences about it as well, because that's going to help you through the year with your other goal setting. Now, then the framework from there is every quarter you're going to sit down. So after you've done your planning for the year, fantastic. You're also going to sit down, and this takes me about 15 minutes once a quarter. Might take a little longer until you start to get the rhythm of it. But every quarter, I'd say about half an hour, you're going to take and look at your annual goals, and you're going to take 3 to 6 things from your annual goals and work on those over the 90 days. But you're going to chunk them down. So you've got the big chunks. How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. You're going to take things out of those and chunk them down into bite-sized pieces. What can I take out of those goals? What can I do in the next 90 days to help me achieve my annual goals? Yeah, do that every 90 days. But every month as well, you're going to look at those 90-day goals and you're going to go, okay, this month, so I'm going to do that over the next 90 days. But what do I need to do in the next 30 to take me towards my 90-day goals? What are the key actions? 3 to 5 things in the next 30 days. Yeah, you're chunking it down once again. And at the beginning of every single week, you're going to take 3 things. 3 things. What are the 3 things you're going to take and do over the next 7 days? What are the 3 things you're going to do over the next 7 days to help you take you towards your monthly goals? Yeah, chunking it down again. And then guess what? Every single day, it takes a few minutes every day. And you write down, what are 3 actions I can do today that are going to help me get towards my weekly goals? Yeah, 3 key things. And think about it this way. Any of those key things that you're going to do today cannot take more than 1 hour. Yeah, but if I work on them today, it takes me less than an hour. I know that if I've achieved those today, it's going to take me towards my weekly goals. And the cool thing is that that's achievable, right? But if you have your annual goals up, your 6 goals up on your wall, and you look at that every day, it's too big. It's insurmountable. You don't know what to work on. You can't break it down. You've got no strategy, no plan. Yeah, it's like getting in the car and going, I'm going to go to the Gold Coast. Yeah, Gold Coast. Yeah, well, I know where, but I don't know where because I've never been there. So you just head in that direction. And that's the problem with putting an end goal up without any plans along the way. So you've either got to, if you go back to the Gregory's, you're going to plan it out, yeah? Or you get Siri and you tell Siri where you want to go and she gives you the directions. But I tell you what, if every day, week, month, quarter, and year, you're planning out that plan for yourself, those goals for yourself, whenever you hit a roadblock, you can change it up. You can iterate your plans and avoid it before you get there, just like Siri does. She won't lead you into a roadblock. She'll give you directions around it so you can get to your destination on time. And that's why goal setting is such a discipline that we all need to be doing. I say discipline, and I use it so often because many people think I'm OCD. I'm actually the opposite. I am high, right, creative, I'm visionary. The detailed stuff bores the crap out of me, okay? Anyone relating to me here, right? But guess what? If you want to be successful in life and in business, you got to tap into the stuff that you're weak at, and you got to really discipline yourself around it. And that's why it's so important that we have daily actions, not weekly, monthly, quarterly, daily actions. Those daily actions will solve your weekly problems, will solve your monthly problems, will solve your quarterly problems, and they'll help you hit your annual goals. Okay, we're going to keep flying through this, but I really want you to take, if you wrote down one thing today, it's like, I'm going to set tomorrow, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to set 3 actions for my business that are going to help take me towards my goals. Yeah. What are 3 things I'm going to do today? Yeah. Because I most people go, well, I'll start with my annual goals. I'm like, yep, that's awesome. Except that's a big job. So just today, I'm going to write down 3 goals. Yeah. And I'm going to write down my 3 goals each day until I do my annual goals. And then I'll work back. Because what will happen is you'll push that can down the road. You kick the can down the road. You'll stop. You won't do it. You won't do it. You won't do it. So start with the daily actions and make a plan to do your annual goals and spend that day. And that way, you're at least practicing the action of goal setting every single day, and you're flexing that muscle. Fantastic. Okay. The third P is promotions. Marketing would be the other word, but it's not a P word. So I'm using the word promotions. You'll see that flow a little bit through the presentation here today. Just got to make it fit, right? Round hole, square peg, whatever. It all fits, right? Promotions are key to growing your business. Nick is like a major advocate to marketing your business. Like he gets his stuff. He gets how important it is. Now, I believe there's 4 key pillars to marketing your business. And I've got a bonus 5th one as well. Now, Dale Beaumont, if you know, is a great guy, owner of Business Blueprint, one of the most formidable and the best training program for entrepreneurs and business owners globally. Is phenomenal. And he always says that marketing is like sitting on a chair. It's like the chair's on a leg. The chair's on a leg. The legs on a chair. He does not say the chair's on a leg. He actually says the legs on a chair, by the way. Hi, Dale, if you're listening. Butchered it. No, but Dale does say that marketing is like the legs on a chair, because the legs on a chair are, fantastic. There's 4 of them. You take one away, whoa, you got to really know what you're doing if you take one of those legs away. Yeah. Otherwise, pretty unstable. You take 2 legs away from a chair, like it's pretty hard to hold it up. You take all 3 legs off a chair, it's going to fall over. You can't hold it up for very long. If you've got no legs on a chair, it's no longer a chair. So it doesn't work either. Let me just tell you how that sort of plays into these 4 pillars, because it's exactly the same. If you have 4 marketing pillars, you have a very stable business. You'll have stable leads. Now, I was doing a live with Adam Bude from, he's a sales guru. He's up in Queensland. He's on the Gold Coast. I believe he's going to come along to a couple of events as well up on the Gold Coast. Great guy. And I was doing that this morning, and Adam said something which I totally agree on, and I've said 1,000 times, but I wanted to reference it because he said it again this morning, and that is marketing and sales are not the same thing. But most people, for some reason, put sales and marketing together all the time. Most businesses have a sales and marketing department, but they're not the same thing. So if you imagine a funnel, everybody knows what a funnel looks like, big end at the top, pointy end at the bottom. That's marketing, yeah? All the leads go in the top of the funnel, yeah? Leads, prospects, whatever you want to call them. Yes, it sounds a bit like, we're treating all our customers like they're numbers. Hey, at the top, they are numbers, yeah? It's a numbers game. When we start talking to them, then they're people that we love, yeah? We've got to get lots of people in the top, though. So we've got to attract people into our marketing funnel. When we start talking to people, that's when the sales starts happening, yeah? When we actually start having conversations, the pointy end of the marketing funnel, as they're popping out of the bottom, they're people who are ready to buy. In fact, if your funnel is awesome, you don't really have to sell, yeah? You've already built the relationships, and by the time you're talking to the bottom, they're ready to buy. But selling is something different to marketing. And so there's 4 pillars in marketing that are really key. And if you do all 4, you'll have a really stable business. Now, let me give you one example that you'll all relate to. Actually, 2 great examples that you'll probably relate to. The tradie, any tradies in here? Tradies use Google AdWords as a key source of business for them. They know they pay for AdWords, they're going to get clicks, they're going to get new business. It's like, that's all good until Google changes its algorithm. Yeah. And all of a sudden there's no leads coming in and the phone stops ringing. And they're like, what's going on? And so what happens is if that's their only source of new leads for their business, they're going to lose and dry up their sales pretty quickly. So we want to make sure is that's not our only source of income. It'd be like if networking face-to-face was your only strategy for getting new leads and creating business. Yeah. And then you weren't networking in an organization that had great online events as well, like BX. And all of a sudden we had, God forbid, a global pandemic or something like that. And everyone went into lockdown. Not that that would ever happen, but if it did, what would you do? Or your leads would stop or your new business would stop. Yeah. So you've got to think about all the different things you can do in your marketing plan to create those opportunities to spread your risk across various marketing pillars. So the pillars are this. The first one, and I reckon this is probably the best one, and it's probably the one that most people aren't doing, is the old school stuff. And it's called, and my P word here is pavement. In fact, it used to be an O word, but I had to change it because I had, pavement. Promotions was the P word. Then I had OO as my next two words. And then someone pointed out one day, like I have a worksheet and they said, hey, if you do number 3 plus the next two, it makes the word poo. And I'm like, thank you, because now I can never unsee that. So now I've got literally poo written on all my worksheets. So I had to come up with 2 more O words. So now there are no longer any O words. They're all P words. So there's only P on my page, no poo. Boom, boom. Okay. Sometimes it goes down, sometimes it doesn't. But, hey, I'm going to pretend you're all laughing there in the background. Okay, moving on. So pavement is old school, right? Old school marketing. The reason it's old school is because no one's doing it. The reason it works so well because no one's doing it. And I truly, when we went into the US with BX, we sent a guy over to the US, Terry, and his job was to go door to door. Old school marketing. He'd go door to door. He'd walk into a business. He'd say, hey, in his Aussie accent, my name's Terry. I'm from this organization called BX. We're just launching in Austin right now. We're really excited to be here. I'm just getting out into the local neighborhood. I just want to chat to local business owners to see where they're at. Can you tell me a little bit about your business? So they chat away, talk all about their business. He's like, awesome. Is there any sort of connections you're looking for? And they're like, oh, maybe. And so they're all sort of having conversations with him. Anyway, they're like, because he'd go, oh, thanks, it's great to know you. I'll grab your card anyway, because, I've got some people I might introduce you to it. So he'd kind of go to leave and they'd go, well, tell us, I want to know about BX. And he'd go, oh, well, yeah, sure, of course, sure. So we talk about BX and he'd go, oh, look, it's best if you experience it. So I'll just shout your brekkie. Come along to our breakfast in Austin, in South Austin or wherever, and come and join it. And we'll, you'll have breakfast, you'll meet some people, blah, 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 blah. Tell you what, almost everyone that turned up off those conversations signed up because they were so taken aback by the different approach, but the relationship that was built and about the non-salesy element to it, that they were like, oh, I want to find out more about it. And then when they came along, they're like, I love this. And they joined. So it was a really high conversion. Poor Terry, it was also 40 degrees Celsius every day. And every business was like 100 meters apart. So he'd walk into these businesses and he'd have to pull his shirt off. Like it'd be stuck to him. It was like a wet shirt contest. It was pretty grilling in Austin when we launched in March, June, July, March, whatever, through spring and summer. Poor Terry. So I think we killed him. Gave him. He lost about 45 kilos, which is great as well. Anyway, so moving on. But the old schools where really you really can make some difference. It's things like letterbox drops and newspaper ads and stuff like that. Some of them are free, some of them cost you, but they really have great cut through. So think about some of those old school things that you're used to experience that no one else is doing, like letterbox drops. How often do you pull a whole massive amount of mail out of your box now? You don't, because no one's doing it. Like I actually go to the letterbox sometimes and it's only bills. It's really sad. Like I'm like, where's the junk mail? Where's the catalog? Not doing it anymore. Too expensive. The cut through is huge and it's less expensive than you think.
Straight in the recycle bin.
Oh, you're so boring, Paul. Awesome. Next P, one of my favorites is partnerships. Now there's a few different types of partnerships. But I mean, there's a few different types of partnerships. There is strategic partners and there's referral partners. Now, a strategic partner is somebody that you've gone, yeah, I get it. We share some database. We've got, similar customers on each of our databases. We're probably going to benefit from having those opportunities by sharing those opportunities. So let's send an email out on each other's behalf every now and again, or let's put a lead box, like a box on the counter of each other's retail shops or whatever. Subway's classic. We used to put a lead box into gyms and studios and stuff like that, because healthy eaters love to work out and stuff like that. Good cross promotions, things like that. So think about some of those cross promotions that you can do with your strategic partners. Maybe, you can get on their podcast and be on webinars with them, things like that. There's some great things to do with strategic partners. It's a little bit set and forget. The next and the other one, and I reckon the highest return on investment marketing activity you can do in your business is through partnerships, and particularly referral partnerships. Because there's no cost to a referral partnership. It's just time. And it's a very low investment of time for a very high return in income. I know, because we test this all the time, we do case studies, that every great referral partner will generate about $20,000 worth of new business for you. And we tell people they should be building about 5 to 10 new ones every year. And a referral partner is another business that serves all the same types of clients you serve in your business, but doesn't compete with you. So basically, every time you're in front of your clients, you're prospecting on behalf of your referral partners. And every time they're in front of their clients, they're prospecting on behalf of you. Because the conversations they're having often lead to questions or information that will solicit that services that you can deliver to those people. It's amazing. As a business coach, I used to do this all the time. I'd sit in front of a client, I'd have conversations with them, talk about their business. I'd say to them, what accounting platform are you using? And they go, Google Sheets. I'm like, okay, we need to do some work here. Look, I'm going to hook you up with somebody in QuickBooks, because I have a great partner and I've got a great deal. I can get you through to you with one of our partners through QuickBooks. Or it might be, what do you mean accounting platform? I don't know. Well, let me tell you, you probably need a bookkeeper. So let me introduce you to someone that I know that's great in bookkeeping. Now, I'm prospecting on their behalf. So it means I'm going to talk them up. I'm going to edify them. By the time they get to that person and they're in front of them having a conversation, they don't have to sell to the person I've introduced to them. They're ready to buy, because I've done all the work, because I've identified the need. I've introduced the person that can solve their pain. That's the beauty of a referral partnership. The key to a referral partnership is being top of mind. And most people, there's actually 4 steps to great referral partners. The first one is asking for them. You got to go to a networking environment, most likely to ask for a connection to your ideal referral partners. That's what your 40-second pitch is about. That's what your pitch is in a networking room, asking to be connected with a referral partner, not selling. The second thing you do is you need to connect with them. So you need to ask that person who's offered to connect you with that potential referral partner. The next thing you do is need to get on the phone with them after you've been introduced to them. Get on the phone and explore the opportunity of potentially working with them. Just find out more about them. Do you like them? Do you hit it off? It's like a matchmaking service kind of thing. If you have some chemistry, then you're likely to want to get on the phone with them on a regular basis. And that's the commitment stage. Commitment is what most people fail in. They do the first bit. They ask. They even connect. Most of them are exploring the conversation, but they're leaving it there. They're leaving the money on the table, because step 4 is where you make your money through partnerships. The commitment stage, being on a 10-minute phone call every 2 weeks with your referral partners, every single 2 weeks, boom, 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 checking with them. Hey, going, what can I do for you this fortnight? Can I share some social media for you? Is there anything I can do to help you? Is there any way I can connect you with anybody? Those questions there are giving your conversations purpose, to make sure you're having these conversations every 2 weeks. But the whole reason you're doing that is to be top of mind with your referral partners. So when they're in front of your ideal clients, they think of you. And that's how it works. $20K per referral partner per year. You make about 20 phone calls, give or take a few weeks here and there that you miss. 20 fortnights in a year, 20 phone calls in a year, $20,000 worth of turnover. Every 10-minute conversation you have with your referral partner is worth $1,000. I guarantee you, I see it all the time. We do case studies all the time. And people go, why do I need to do it every 2 weeks? Can I do it every month? No, you won't be top of mind. Do it every 2 weeks. It's worth $1,000 if you do. And people go, oh, yeah, okay. That makes more sense. Well, $1,000, yeah, okay. And then they do it 2 or 3 times and go, oh, I haven't made $2,000 or $3,000. I'm like, going to play the long game. It might take you, if you're a business coach, it could take you 6 to 12 months to start building some clients out of your referral partners. High trust. If you're a printer, it doesn't take a lot of trust to know that if you want some business cards, you're going to get business cards. If you give the quality and all that sort of stuff, that's what you're going to get. So what I'm telling you, it's really important that you get that consistency happening and you'll build up your business and you'll generate $20,000 a year out of each referral partner. 5 to 10 of them, you can see how quickly you can generate a lot of new business. You get to the point where you can't do it anymore. You're too busy. Excellent. You're making $200,000 a year on the top line. Bring someone in to help you grow it. Yeah. Most people pull back. I'm too busy. So they pull back. No, you got to push forward. This is when you bring on support. Some VAs and people into your organization help you. And I'm moving on to another point there. So partnerships, huge income generator for your business. The next P in promotions. So we're still in promotions here. We've had payment platform partnerships. The next one is PR. Now, this is a PR exercise right now. Now, I love Nick. Nick's a great guy. And I would do anything if Nick asked me. But hey, I do see a side benefit from this as well. I can help people through this platform here. And there's people that are going to watch this and go, oh, who's Matt? What's BX? What's he talking about? And they're going to look it up. I may get some new clients out of this. Yeah. But most importantly, it's going to help me live my vision. I want to help hundreds of thousands of business owners grow their business to achieve the life of their dream. Can't do that if I'm not getting out there and getting public. Yeah. So this is a self-serving process here as well, Nick, but I am doing it out of love for Nick as well. Podcasts are a great way to do that. Webinars are fantastic. Going in business awards. Jacqueline, I saw Jacqueline Price is on the call here tonight. I saw her at the women's, I can't remember the name of it, Women's Business Champion Awards. It's like the longest name in history. The Women's Business Champion Awards. I'm sure that's what it's called. Women's Small Business Champion Awards. That's what it is. I saw her there on finalist in the awards. All her marketing will support that. And I always say, it doesn't matter whether you win or not. So you're either a winner or you're a finalist. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Your consumer, the people that buy from you, don't distinguish the difference between winning and being a finalist. Yeah. Now, Jacqueline's also won a bunch of awards as well. So she's got a few strings on her bow as well. She feathers on her cap. She has done a fantastic job. She's won a BX Business Excellence Award. She's won some local. She's a phenomenon in what she does. But hey, you can't win them all, you know, but getting herself out there means that she's building that brand credibility. All those logos going on her website, every time her brand goes up on that big screen. And I'll tell you what, there was about 1,500 or about 12 to 1,300 actually business owners in the room at Star City in Sydney at the Star who saw her brand come up and saw her as a finalist on the evening. Yeah, it was phenomenal. So make sure you're entering business awards. It's a great PR opportunity. Think about all the ways you can get out there, and they're free. Great opportunities for every business owner to take advantage of those things there. So highly encourage you to tap into PR. Now, I know we have some amazing PR people in our network. Old but not least phenomenal. We've got Adrian Falk, phenomenal. And they do amazing services. And that's all next level stuff. Yeah. Start to get some momentum for free. And then make sure that you start to and start investing in it as well, yeah, because then you can take your whole PR another level. Really cool. And the last P in promotions that I would want to just touch on is, and it's the fifth leg, and I think that it's a bonus one there as well, is that most people build their business and they build their own personal brand in as part of their business. So what they're doing is they're wrapping themselves up in the business box, so they fit within it. But what I always suggest is that we should be building our personal brand alongside our business, because our brand, our personal brand, has value like our business has value. And it's important that we love what we do, and we will continue to love what we do, but not indefinitely. And some time in the future, you might fall out of love with your business and want to sell it. Yeah, that's cool. And I absolutely, that's what you should be doing. You should be building, and this is about building value in your business. These 7 principles will build value into your business so that when you go to sell it, you're selling it for a big price. Yeah, that's the reward at the end as well. You want the big reward, the big, 8 or 9 or 10 figure return on your business when you go to sell it. Yeah. But if you built your personal brand alongside it, now you've got something else that has value beyond the business. So you sell your business, but you have a brand that has value now. And the reason why that's really important is because when you want to do the next thing, what then happens is you then have doors open all around you. And this is what I've found. As you start to build success into what you're doing, and you build a personal brand alongside that success, and you sell things along the way, you actually have doors open, opportunities all the time. And then we get into this situation where we have to say no more than we say yes, right? You've heard that. This is what happens. But also it creates opportunities where you might want to do something and you go, okay, I don't want to invest, $2 or $3 million into this business. I'm going to find some people. Your personal brand attracts great quality people who want to invest in that. And you bring something beyond money to the table as well. So I highly encourage you to build that personal brand as well. So don't just enter your business in the awards. Put yourself as business person of the year. Yeah. Don't just go on a podcast or a webinar and do it as your business. You go in there as a person as well, the person who's sharing that expertise. Have a personal website, yeah, and build those brands alongside what you're doing. That personal brand alongside what you're doing. Okay, we're going to fly through the last 4 Ps there as well. I've got no idea how we're going for time, but Nick always says to me, pretend you got 10 minutes and and talk. And then I just keep going forever because I get pretty excited about everything, and I do tend to go on when I get excited. So hopefully you're all still, give me a thumbs up if you're all still good and you're all still getting lots out of this as well. Awesome. Fantastic. Thanks, everybody. Okay, the 4th P is processes. These are the systems in your business. Now, my very first business 18 years ago was a Subway restaurant. And the reason I went into Subway is because I was actually working somewhere else at the time. So I was a corporate employee. I was the MD of a company, running that company. And it was actually had the company that owned about 40 to 50 Video Easy stores. And so I used to run that out of their office, and they had stores across Sydney. That was my corporate job. And I thought, you know what, I kind of want to do something myself. I actually saw where the industry was going as well. I thought, there's a chance I might be made redundant or whatever, because I was kind of quite new in the role. I'd grown the company, but new in the role. So I started looking around about what I was going to do in my future. Also, I was 28. So I was thinking, what do I want to kind of do? What was I, 26 or something like that? And I thought, what do I want to do? I was, going to have kids and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, I want to go into business. And as I thought about it, I thought, I don't want to go into a business and set a business up from scratch. I want to go into something that's already got framework structure like a franchise, because I knew that a franchise had all the systems and procedures, the foundations of running a successful business, and I could come in and I could run it to those standards. I could have team members operating to those standards, and it would be less stressful than trying to set up a business from scratch. So I looked at a bunch of them. I got it down to 2. I was going to open a Baker's Delight or a Subway franchise. One of the key reasons I didn't go with Baker's Delight is because they were very early mornings and I'm a night owl. So I went with Subway, and I liked the product. It was new, it was fresh, and I loved what it was all about. So I opened my very first Subway. So I built it, opened it, and I opened that in 2005. That was my first shop that I actually opened, which is pretty exciting, and built it up. I was still working full time. But the great thing is I had these systems and processes that were the foundations for this business. Yeah. And the great things about having great systems and processes in your business are that your team members know what's expected of them. And it's crazy sometimes when you don't have clear processes in your business. If your team members don't know what the minimum standard is, how can they ever achieve what you're expecting of them? Yeah. How can they exceed it? And the cool thing is when they do exceed it, you can celebrate it. So if you've got a clearly articulated procedure, you can actually celebrate with your team member when they exceed it. You can reward them and recognize them for that behavior and that performance. Yeah. The other thing is if they're not performing, it's really easy to draw back on the procedure and say, hey, this is kind of the standards that we expect in this procedure. Is there anything I can do to help you to lift that standard? Yeah, we can start performance managing people to lift them to the standard. Very hard to do if you don't have clearly articulated procedures. Now, one piece of advice that I'd give everybody is have a central place where you house all your procedures online, where your team can access it without having to print them out and have them printed folders. Now, in saying that, when I had the video stores, keeping in mind I was in the video stores from the late 90s through into the early 2000s, they used to have a folder we had 40 to 50 shops, right? So the folder with all like tabs in it, section 1, section 2, section 3 that have the, process list at the front of all of the different processes and different contents. And then we change the procedure. So we type it out. We'd print, 50 copies of it, and we'd send them by mail out to the groups already printed. Oh my goodness. As we kind of got into the 2000s, they actually started having, bubble jet printers and stuff like that. So they could actually print their own procedures and put them in there. But when we first started, most of the printers in the video shops were dot matrix. So they couldn't print their procedures. We literally had to send them. It was crazy. Anyway, now it's a lot easier. Have them in a central location where people can find them, like a Google site is a great place to have your procedures. And make sure that anything that is repeated in your business, any task or action that's repeated, done more than once, has a system around it. And the best system is just broken up like this. This is how you should write a procedure. What? The first element, the what is this procedure, the title of the procedure. Yeah. And then why? Why is this procedure important? So give us the why. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, Simon Sinek says. We need to give people the why. Then they'll perform to the standard you want because they'll understand why they're doing it a certain way. When is it activated around a date or a time or a cycle in the year or whatever it is? So the when, the who's responsible for doing this procedure in your business? It might be you, but give it a title. So the admin coordinator or the finance manager, give it a title, because as you grow your business, then that person will have their tasks already defined in the system for them. And then the how. Step-by-step guides are great. Step 1, do this. Step 3, step 4, step 5. Have some screenshots if it's in computer. I even do screen capture videos and stuff like that for procedures. That's great as well. Or you can video yourself doing stuff as well on your phones these days. It's for team. It doesn't have to get all complicated. Just find some great ways to share that content that's really easy for people to digest. Remember, people learn different ways. So you kind of got to have a couple of different formats. The step-by-step is really great, but sometimes some visual prompts and some video screenshots and stuff like that are also awesome as well. So then that's how you create the processes in your business, and you have them on something like a Google site as well. Awesome. That's processes. Make sure you've got them. The systems build value into your business. That's why you pay money for a franchise. Yeah. When you sell your business, are you the key person? Is everything that's important up here, or is it articulated? Yeah. My team will know. Just ask Loz. I'm always drilling about get that into a procedure, change the procedure, update the procedure, write the procedure. I want everything out of here for the team communicated and verbalized so that everyone can learn from that wisdom. Otherwise, every time someone leaves you, you lose the wisdom. Yeah. You want to build the bank of wisdom for the people. Yeah. You're paying for that with your people. Make sure you extract that from all your people as well. All that gold. Because let's face it, it'd be awesome if we're better than everybody else, but we're not. There's people that are better at us and stuff. So we want to use that and gain that from them while they're with us. Fantastic. Okay. Number 5 is people. Once you build the systems, then you can bring on the people. Now, I often say people are the make or break in any organization. The first person you hire, in fact, will either double your capacity. You've gone from 1 to 2. They'll either double your capacity or they'll halve it. And sadly, sometimes it's halve it, because what happens is we get them on and they're no good. Yeah, the first person you hire can make a massive difference to your organization. So make sure you hire well. I often say hire slow, fire fast. Now, this might, go against the grain with some of you as well, but this is for everyone's benefit. If someone doesn't fit culturally, doesn't fit with your vision, your values, then they're not a good fit for your business. And you've got to let them go, because they're not going to love it. They're not going to enjoy working for you. So letting them go early is actually a better solution than keeping them on long-term for everybody. Yeah. So hire slow, make great decisions, hire around your values and your vision and your culture, but fire fast. If they're not right for your business, then they're never going to be right for your business. Yeah. You can train on the technical stuff, but you hire on attitude, you hire on your vision, your values. They've got to fit that. If they don't, they're not going to be any good. Yeah, you can train the technical stuff in anybody. Don't worry about that stuff so much. But the values and vision side of things is so crucial. Excellent. Now, performance is your next one. Once you've got the processes and the people in place, you've got to build a culture in your organization. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Yeah, we've heard that. It's true. if we don't have a great culture in our organization, a performance culture, then we're not going to have an organization that can go to the next level. Yeah. And culture is created through the values in our organization. So if you've got strong core values, you'll have a great culture in your organization because they'll be the guiding force to create the culture in your organization. But why I say performance culture, it's because of a lot of us think that just if everyone's happy and enjoying themselves, that's a great culture. Yeah. Pardon me. So if everybody's just having fun, they love coming to work, yeah, that's a great culture. It's actually not. You've got to have a performance culture for your organization. You've got to have a culture where we're actually about results because results pay their wages. And so often we get caught up in, we want everyone to have fun, enjoy themselves, to like me, to enjoy being part of it. Because if they do, they'll be productive at work, but that's not actually true. An example of that is that I did some consulting work with an organization a number of years ago. Big firm, US firm, came to Australia. They brought on about 35 staff members, team members, when they first started in Australia. And they had this beautiful building in the city. They had, the whole top floor. And, every morning tea time, they'd have yoga. Lunchtime, they'd have Pilates. The afternoon, they'd play ping pong and table tennis and foosballs, all sorts of stuff. They thought they had this great culture. Everybody was like enjoying themselves. But what was happening is they kept hiring. People weren't productive. They kept hiring. They kept hiring to try and fill the gaps of why they weren't getting work done. And they kept losing people is the other thing as well. They didn't understand why they were losing people. But what happens is if there's a culture around just having fun all the time, people aren't being productive, which means people aren't getting fulfillment from their work. Sooner or later, people will go, oh my goodness, this is not working for me. Now, think about Google in the US. This is not Google that I work with in Australia. Google in the US, though, had slippery slides, all you can eat buffets 24/7. You can sleep there, eat there, play there, have fun there, because their organization had 18, 19, 20-year-olds, 24-year-olds, all, unattached people, single people who all they wanted to do was work, but they wanted to work when they wanted to work. And that was usually in the nighttime. So they were playing during the day at work, but they were working hard in the night. They were getting 10, 15 hours worth of productivity out of these people a day. Yeah, because they created that environment. This company in Australia had an organization that had a workforce of 35 to 55-year-olds. Now, the difference is they've got families, partners, kids, all sorts of stuff going on. Anyone with kids know that, every day you've got 1,000 things going on, sporting activities and stuff like that. So, you're getting to work at 8:30, but you can't get there any earlier because you've got commitments. You're leaving work at 5:30 because you've got to get back and pick up kids and run them around, do all sorts of things. Yeah, you can't put the extra hours in to make up for the shortfalls in time when you're playing at work. People just wanted to actually work hard, but didn't have an environment and culture where to do that. So performance culture, think about the people that you employ and how you can get the most out of those people by creating a culture that drives their performance. So culture needs to be centered around the people, not about what you think a culture should look like for your organization. So performance culture. And the 7th P is passion. You have to love what you do. I started by saying that you got to love what you do. Yeah. You got to be freaking good at it and you got to be able to make money out of it. But if you're not passionate about your business, when you hit some roadblocks, some challenges, you're not getting those goals or whatever it is, or, God forbid, a partner $4 in business, that can happen, right? You're not going to be able to swing your legs out of bed in the morning. You're not going to be able to get up and get into it and be motivated and, motivate and lead your team. Passion is what pushes you through the hard times. And it's actually what propels you through the good times as well. You've got to love what you do. And the moment your love starts to dwindle, maybe you need to reshape your business or maybe you need to sell it. Yeah. But if you've done these 7 Ps and you've built these 7 Ps into the strategy for your business, then you'll have built a business of great value that you can sell for a great price. And that is one of the most rewarding things you'll do in your business, is building it up and creating a legacy that someone else can then take on and carry the torch. Yeah. That's amazing. Keep doing the wonderful things that you were doing in that business. Then you can move on to do something else that you're excited about and that you love as well. And that's why I love sharing these 7 Ps, because they enable business owners to live that life of their dreams by creating a business that fulfills all those other boxes as well and ticks all those other boxes as well. So I hope you've enjoyed that time with me there. I've no idea whether I went over time or not. Hopefully we're all good. But thank you so much, Nick, for giving me the opportunity to share to everybody today.
That is my absolute pleasure. And I hope that everyone here got some great value out of it. I have, in fact, put those 7 steps there to 7 figures in the chat. So now is a great time to download that chat by saving those 3 dots. And in fact, those 7 keys there are probably good to print out, have on your computer in front of you, or somewhere on the wall, just to help keep you on track. So unfortunately, we have run out of time, so there's not a lot of time for questions. But I would say for people that are interested in finding out a bit more about this process, Matt does run an organisation, heads an organisation called BX, or BX Networking. That's an organisation that I'm part of. I happen to be the team leader at the Rabina group, and so if you have a look at BX and are looking to see how these are put into practice, that's a really good demonstration as to how all that works, and how people are taught that through that process as well too. All right, but on that there, we do have some prizes to give away as well too, which I think are slightly related as well. So tell us what the prizes are, Matt.
So we've got some gift vouchers for free brekkie, lunch or dinner in your local city. So we've got a couple of gift passes we'll give per person as well. So you can bring a friend with you, because there's nothing worse than networking on your own. Lots of lovely people at BX meeting, but it's nice bringing someone with you as well. So now how do we do lucky door prizes? Nick, have you got like a secret way of doing that? I do. Look at this.
We have a special little way to do it. We've got our sort of spinning wheel. So everybody's name has been loaded into the wheel. So how many times were you spinning this, Matt?
Let's go. Well, let's go 5 times. How's that sound?
5 times.
22 is my favorite number, but that sounds like a long time.
All right. And remember, these BX meetings all over Australia, New Zealand, and in fact, you can use it in the US if you feel like traveling over there as well too. So let's have a virtual drum roll, please. We've got number 1 coming down here, and maybe you have to be in the room to win as well too. If not, then we redraw it. And our first one there is Jacqueline Price. Jacqueline's always a winner there. She's always winning awards and being an award. So there you go. You got some vouchers on the way to you, Jacqueline.
Well, I know where to find her as well. Fantastic.
Yes. It's always good when someone shouts your breakfast as well too. And second winner of the day is, it's on the cusp. Oh, Janine Fraser.
I know where to find her as well. I'll probably see her in the next couple of days.
All right, we've got number 3 spin here. So virtual drum roll again, and our lucky winner is it going to be Margarita or Pam? Margarita.
Hey. Excellent. I don't have your details, Margarita. So if you pop your name and email address, we'll reach out to you and organise for those vouchers to come to you as well. And just where you're based as well, Margarita, like the city.
Awesome. And we can get those through to you on email as well too. All right, what was that? Number 3, was it? And number 4. Would be Pete D. Which I don't think Pete's here anymore. Pete unfortunately left the room. So anyone knows Pete, let him know that he won. So we'll redraw that one again. Lucky winner is
Will.
Will. There we go. Will's here. Fantastic.
Awesome.
I don't know whether you got Will's details, probably or not. I don't think, Matt, have you?
If you pop your name and your email address in there, we'll reach out to you as well.
All right.
Excellent.
And our lucky last one as well is final one. Who wants this one? Hands up, wave your hands around. This is for the one with the most waves of the hand, and that would be Paul Sheaf.
Oh. Redraw to one of these breakfasts.
Redraw, redraw, come on.
Fantastic. Awesome. What I'll do is I'll shout you all a copy of my book as well. So when you come along to your brekkie, wherever it is, I'll organise for a book to get out there to you guys as well, because I can actually do a I said to Nick, how do we do something physical? And he's like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm like, actually, if you're coming to a brekkie, I'll organise for a book to be there at the same time. Awesome. Well done. So I've got your email address there. I already know Paul. I can get Paul. I know Janine and Jacqueline. I just need Margarita as well. If you're still on the call, your details there as well.
All
Can
right.
I use it tomorrow morning at the new Sutherland meeting?
Are you going to Sutherland in the morning?
I don't know. I haven't booked, but because I realised it was already past the 24 hours, so I haven't been to it yet.
Don't do that anymore. So I'll book you in, Paul. Sutherland in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep. Done.
Thank you. Yeah.
Not what you know.
That's another clean shirt I've got to get this week.
That's all right. Just turn it inside out, Paul. It'll be right for another day. All right. Well, thanks once again, Matt, for sharing your wisdom with us tonight. I hope everyone got some value out. I saw lots of tops of heads, which means that people had their heads down and writing notes. If you missed anything in tonight's discussion, or you want to see it again, it will be up on the Smash Go YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. You can subscribe to the channel. Best thing to do is to go there, subscribe to the channel. And after you've subscribed, you'll see a little bell appear. If you hit that little bell, then you'll get a notification to let you know that that video is up there and waiting. If you know anyone else that you think would benefit from this as well too, feel free to share it out to them. And of course, you're going to invite them to come along here as well for next time. And just remember the Business Owners Smashing Online Facebook group. If you're not a member of that there, go and join that now. That's where we announce the events and let you know what's happening. Well, that's one of the places we do that. And of course, all of those people who are creating those fabulous artworks, I know you're going to be posting them there as well too. So we can see them there as well too. All right. Well, that there is a wrap for Business Owners Smashing It Online tonight. Thanks everyone for showing up and coming along, and thanks Matt also for joining us from your hotel room up here in the Gold Coast, and look forward to catching up with you tomorrow.